Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I want you to imagine that what if you would have a 24/7 available brand strategist specifically for your brand, someone who can understand your brand voice, who totally gets your customer avatar, their pain points, where are they hanging out, what solutions are they looking for, and having access to this knowledge any time of the day is truly valuable because when you're starting your business, it's inevitable that you have to create a lot of content in terms of social media content, newsletters, sales pages, different communications with your customer. And you really want to make sure that they speak to your customer, right? That they reach the customer. And secondly, you really want that to be authentic. Like you just don't want this copy paste AI sounding content, right? You want this to be you, the essence to be your voice, your authenticity. So basically, this is what we're going to be doing today. I think it's a very underestimated way to really buy back a lot of your time, yet staying authentic to what you want to say and your business and your customers. We are going through, I think, three main pieces in this video, and this will be a hands-on tutorial. So in a couple of minutes, we'll jump into Claude and I'll walk you through the entire process. You will find the exact prompts that I will be using attached to the video description. Feel free to download them and copy paste them when you follow along this tutorial. The three parts we are going to be focused on. Number one is the brand identity, basically who you are and what you want to offer, like what is your essence that you want to bring into your business. Second is your ideal customer or your perfect customer rather. And there will be zooming in, okay, who that is. Basically, who are you serving? Whose life do you want to improve? And the third one will package that as a reference guide that you can use for multiple purposes. You can use it by yourself, but I think the most powerful way to use that is to attach that to Claude project. So this reference guide, like every time you create content with Claude, it will reference this document and it will know exactly who your customer is. It will know exactly what your brand voice, what your values are, and what your business is about, right? So this is really going to be this like really important document for them to use within AI. And of course, you can then share it with ChatGPT and play around with that. But this is the most powerful outcome, I would say, of this video. There is one thing I want to preface that with. Oftentimes, when you're starting your digital business, and I've experienced that myself, there are two ways to come into that. One is that you already know who you want to serve. For example, you overcame some challenges by yourself and you've been through something that you resolved for yourself. And very often that translates into who you want to serve and how you want to improve the life of the past, the you from 2 years ago or so, or from 1 year ago. That is a wonderful way to approach that. This is exactly the video that you should start with. But there is also another way that I want to call out. This way is when you get the creative urge, and you feel like, I want to create this. Like there's something that needs to come through me and I need to put this into the world. Often you don't really understand why or how, but you feel this very strong creative urge. So it's not just an idea, it's really something that you can almost get like a body feeling. Oftentimes, if you're in human design, that's very characteristic of manifestors, manifesting generators. But I truly believe we have to honor that and not overthink it, but let it come through. In that case, you can also approach starting the business from perspective like, this is what I want to put out. I don't know who I'm serving just yet, but this is my product. I think you can still use this video and play around. It will bring a lot of clarity, but my next video will be focused on more of a AI as a business strategist. So there we could approach it like, okay, this is what I want to put out. Who will it serve and how do I structure my portfolio or my products and so on. Both ways are incredible and it doesn't matter where you start. You will ultimately arrive, you'll still cover both, but it's just the entry point. And I feel sad that a lot of advice disregards the second part, basically killing your own creative urge, because your rational brain tells you, no, start with who is this for, what problem, and so on. And just sometimes it's just not how you create something. And another really important framing of this work before we create our AI brand strategist, it all starts with you, right? It all starts with your essence, your values, your authenticity. See AI as an employee that you can train to do things in your way, right? It's never other way around. The other way around of just let's create a bunch of AI content and then let's start prioritize basically quantity over quality and put it out there. That might that might work in the short term, but it will not last. It will not be sustainable, and people see through this right away. It's just not worth the effort. I approach everything from, okay, this is me, this is my authenticity, this is what I want to bring into the world, this is who I'm serving, and then let's use AI as a facilitator to let me translate that into ways to express that. I know if you're watching this channel, you already realize that the vibe here, it's not AI for the sake of AI or AI doing some meaningless stuff for us. It's rather leveraging AI, helping us to grow businesses sustainably. So without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, so I just had a major epic fail. I started recording the video or what I thought was pressing a red button, but apparently I did not do that. So I just walked through 40 minutes tutorial in Claude and I did not record it. I have maxed out Claude entirely, so now I have to wait a couple of hours because I prompted it so much. I have a choice either to say I'm not doing this or I'm actually gonna do ChatGPT, a same tutorial in ChatGPT. I don't know, I think I need a minute. Okay, we're in ChatGPT now. I hope I'm recording this time. And we are going to start a new project. We're gonna call this project AI Brand Strategist. And we're gonna create a project. The reason why we're creating the project is that we want to create the AI brand strategist to use as a future reference, right? So we want to make sure that we have this information and context for all our future social media needs. Here we can add the structure of the project, different files, and after this tutorial we'll have a document that we'll upload here, and then we can also add some instructions how we want to respond. So I'll leave it off for now. We can just add it later if we want, but it's basically we want you to respond in simple terms, or we can upload our tone of voice. Again, that's something that we're going to provide quite comprehensive instructions in the end of this video. I'm going to my Google Doc, and if you haven't downloaded that yet, just find it in the description below. Just download it so you can follow along and just use the prompts. What you want to do now is copy this prompt and into ChatGPT. Let's see what ChatGPT comes to us with. I personally prefer Claude for the specific reasons that I feel it's more comprehensive and much better in writing and creating content. Okay, it has a couple of questions that we have to answer. What I did in the tutorial before, when I started this video, was that Claude asked me similar questions and I talked to it. So I'm not gonna do this again, because I'm frustrating that this tutorial disappeared, but I'm just gonna copy paste because it transcribed exactly what I said. I'm just gonna copy paste this and I give it to ChatGPT. And I think it's pretty similar. If we look at Claude, these were the questions it asked. So pretty similar, I would say. So far, so good. When you're doing this the first time, use the voice. So go into your phone, press on the mic button there, and just answer those questions in your tone of voice, just the way how you would answer if a friend asks you, to just let this be a real flow. And it can take like 10 minutes. I don't know. For me, it took, I think, 5 minutes to do this first one in Claude. So just do it with the voice, because that also gives AI hidden clues within your choice of words, within your like how you structure sentences, and that's important. And I think it's very difficult to capture just by writing. Okay, so pretty accurate so far, so good. ChatGPT, I love ChatGPT also. It's just Claude is my favorite for this, but it's actually really good. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna say, based on this success, so we copy the second part of the prompt. I'm gonna do like this. We want to go a bit deeper into, it goes really deep. I wonder why ChatGPT chooses that it's Anna living in Sweden. I'm not loving it, like from the very first. I like this second part, but again, I'm not gonna be, it's pretty good. Yes, and I think here it actually, ChatGPT really captures time scarcity that I think, I don't remember if Claude did that. I talked a lot about authenticity when I provided answers. I want to give my audience the value that my mission is to simplify AI in the sense that they don't have to feel that it's either AI and sounding robotic or not using AI. AI is an incredible tool to leverage your authenticity. I'm not sure if it's capturing it. This is very nice. So just transformation she's seeking, before versus after, specific language. I mean, it's good. Not a big fan of all this emojis here. Now we're gonna go to step 2, developing a brand voice. Here I would use the voice recording in ChatGPT. It's quite incredible how I often feel sometimes, oh my God, we're taking too long before to hire a brand strategist and to have this conversation and to get this output. What it took so far, it's gone 3 minutes and I'm already feeling it could get better. Why is it so slow? It just speaks to how fast we commoditize a lot of things. Next prompt. I want to develop that with my ideal customers that we have described above. So now we're prompting ChatGPT to develop a clear brand voice that resonates with my ideal customer. I want help with creating a brand voice, asking me the most important questions about brand personality, communication style. Quite good questions. If I would do this now, I would press on the voice recording and just speak and answer all those questions. But since I have already done that with Claude and the questions are very similar, I will basically copy paste what I had in Claude. So this was the one, I think I got it like to 8 minutes almost. So I'm just going to copy paste this transcription into ChatGPT. Oh, thank you. It's an incredible deep dive into brain voice philosophy. Yeah, so now it's creating, based on my input, it's creating the brand voice guide. Tone and presence. I think it's pretty good. I think it's less intricate than Claude, but it's more clear and simple, and ultimately that also has value. It's just, I think, is a preference. I prefer how Claude writes, but some people prefer the communication style of ChatGPT. I have to say, so far I think it's capturing the things that I provided, my input. It all starts with my essence, what I want to bring out there, whom I want to connect. And since I know this customer because it is me like 2 years ago, it's really easy for me. So when I look at it, I definitely feel that it captured over 90% of the essence. If I feel like something is missing, then I'll just prompt ChatGPT. Again, with voice, I say, okay, this is a great description. The elements that I'm missing that I forgot to mention are this and that. Elaborate on them, and then ask to integrate into this description and reiterate that. But for this, I'm happy with this and I'm ready to go ahead. Based on my response, here we go. I like this. So tone characteristics: empowering, not patronizing; conversational but urgent; practical, not fluffy; No fluff, no hype, no fake promises, real and relatable. And I think it captured it really well. I'm allergic to guru promises and blueprints. What's interesting, what to avoid. Here, that Claude missed out on when I did this recording is the fake urgency. I'm really against this creating FOMO effect, like making people buy something just because, or forcing them into this fear response that they're going to miss out. So I'm happy to see that ChatGPT actually calls this out and highlights some tone characteristics that we will be avoiding. So motivational fluff without practical steps to follow, overcomplicated jargon sounding like a guru. So topics to focus on. Yes, I really like this. This is spot on. Examples of how this sounds in practice. AI is your superpower, not your replacement. Use it to amplify your creativity, not to erase it. Yes. I'm going to add my own. This is just a starting point, but it captures the essence. You don't need a perfect idea. You just need to start. Clarity comes from action. Totally. Yeah, very good. Just set up AI and make money while you sleep. Definitely, we're not going to say that. AI is scary, it's coming for your jobs. No, it is coming for your jobs, but this doesn't have to be scary because we are building something that we don't have to rely on our jobs. So I'm loving this. We're going to move on to the next prompt that you again can copy paste. I'm going to do like this. That we have defined. So now we're moving on to the content strategy framework. It will define the core content pillars, the topics, the purpose, specific content types for each pillar. So it's basically going to outline the high-level content strategy for us, and it takes it from our content pillars that we've defined. And it's really good. Yes. I'm still missing some things, and that's just because maybe I'm leaning into my perfectionist now. But if you get the output and you're like, yeah, but there's something missing, or I would want to rephrase, this is like almost there but not there, just prompt away. Give ChatGPT specific feedback. Say what you're not liking. Say what you're not loving. Imagine that you have this brand strategist sitting next to you and you're just like, oh, almost there. Can we fine tune this a little bit? Maybe more. Just use your feeling of how you perceive this and prompt it until you feel you're happy with it, right? This is just the first suggestion, and take it from there. Always prompt. Never leave it as a first suggestion. It continues to create the educational, emotional content themes, mixing both. This is my core message, right? AI plus aligned digital business is my way of achieving freedom, and it only works when you start doing it, not get stuck like I was for years. It gives some examples of the content types, right? That is something I really appreciate. I haven't even gotten this good of an output in Claude, to be honest. So myth busting, pain points post, that's really helpful for me because sometimes I struggle to find the right format for it. I'm a manifesting generator in human design, and I need to respond to something versus come up with structures myself. This gives me a really good starting point. So here it suggests actionable content plan for each week. That is something we asked for, and how to use this content strategy. So this is good. We developed our content strategy. Now we're going to move on to the message framework. I've added, and I'm going to explain why. We assume already ChatGPT knows what we're doing here, so we don't get a copy paste. Human design profile. It is optional. If you're into human design, I find it incredibly enriching in how it will approach your content strategy and your messaging. So I'm a manifesting generator, 5-1 profile, emotional authority. It impacts the way that I communicate, in a sense that what makes me more joyful, right? So there is different ways to create content and there are different ways to share it. So in my world, like I have million of ideas, right? And I want to share them all, but I also need to find the flow of how to do it in the way that feels good to me, that I don't feel forced into this. And that's what my human design profile helps me. I would upload my human design report into the ChatGPT project documentation. And here I would ask to use it as well. I'm not going to do it here, so we're going to keep it pretty general. But if you want to see a video on how I did this with Human Design Report, I'll link the video here. Basically, here we're asking for the messaging framework, right? So we want to structure, and remember, we're creating this documentation for ChatGPT itself that we're going to upload, and then it will reference it every time we're creating new social media content. Big ideas, my core statements that I stand for. Again, you just read here and you make sure that by being yourself, I truly believe that. Value proposition, this is great. And here it provides some pretty good customer objections and how to address them. It creates examples of CTAs, which is great because then we can see if ChatGPT actually got what we are trying to do here. I think it's pretty good, and it tests it for different types of products. It knows that I want to create, that it's digital business, so it creates course, coach, and digital product. Story themes. I love it. I just said in the tutorial that actually hasn't recorded, I was at some point so grateful to Claude and I loved it. I don't know why I was so skeptical to ChatGPT. Maybe it's just those emojis that put me off, but it's very good. It's pretty good. It did a really good job. So we're going to move on, and now we have the messaging framework, and we are going to put ChatGPT to ultimate test. So we're going to confirm the understanding of how we want to approach that, what we've discussed. Use what we have created so far. We're asking it to confirm the understanding. We're asking it to adapt my voice or what we've created to a couple of different content types. Ask to give examples and include suggested prompts that we can use in the future. So that's task number one. There is another task that's going to be coming up, and I think this is important because we are giving ChatGPT opportunity to come back with output, and it's our job to guide it, right? Again, back to brand strategist that is sitting next to us. We don't just give a task and take the first output and say, this is great, we're going with it. It's continuous back and forth. Here I want to refine it a little bit because I get some new ideas when I read this. I might just prompt it after that to give some feedback. How can we work together? This is really good. Batch content. With this knowledge, we can just prompt it like, okay, you know enough now to give me 30 days of content ideas, but we're going to do it later. So we're going to still save all this information in our project, and then we're going to come back to it. We're still going to test it now. That is like an ultimate test. And I like to do the testing. This is your authentic voice, right? The closer we get to that, the better. And it's really important to challenge and prompt ChatGPT to explain to you why it did certain things and how did it approach that. Because only when you see this explanation, okay, something is off or it's actually spot on. So we ask it to create a couple of test assignments, so a social media post, a newsletter, and explain how to incorporate the brand voice, what customer pain addressed, and how it maintained authenticity, and what prompts I should use to modify for better results. I'm not loving the first one. I think it's pretty general, pretty copy-pasty ChatGPT sounding. That's why I prefer Claude over ChatGPT for this part specifically. When it comes to creating content itself, ChatGPT, it seems as amazing as Claude, if not better, to do the legwork of our defining the customer, doing the research, like all those things. But when it comes to writing, I would take Claude over this, absolutely. When you get output you're not happy with, take the mic again and say, Claude, this is what I don't like about this post. It lost a bit of a personal touch. It really sounds like this, all this copy-paste internet stuff. I'm not happy about it. Can we refine it and make it more direct, personal, empowering, whatever? Give the concrete feedback. And I also don't love this. So again, for me, I would just go ahead and use Claude for this part, but feel free to prompt away with ChatGPT and it will give you better results. I'm actually going to try and do this now. So first of all, thank you for this. I'm going to give you some feedback that I want you to incorporate. So when I'm looking at these results on those social media posts, I'm not happy with them. I feel that they're very general. I do not feel that they reflect the depth that we have discussed previously in this conversation. I think they're missing the personality, they're missing the essence that we have captured pretty well. Also, I don't love the emojis, so please remove the emojis. Can you please reiterate? Let's see what happens. I just want to show what big of a difference follow-up prompt does. And I think I really want everyone to understand that the first output never needs to be the final one, and it never can be the final one, right? And that subtle feedback and direction that you give to ChatGPT or Claude is incredibly important, and it really transforms. So let's see what it comes back to. Okay, got it. No emojis. Deeper insight. This is an emoji, but deeper insight and more personality. Let's do this. The results are quite incredible. All right, ChatGPT is now done. So let's see the results. It took some time, but you see the difference. So let's look at this first social media post that it suggested. AI plus digital, tired of trading time for money. Let's fix that. Again, I didn't feel that it was like it was really me at all. So it shifted for this. Mindset shift from employee to AI-powered entrepreneur. I love this, actually. It's a totally different story. And it's much more aligned with what we've discussed in the previous conversation, right? So I steered it back on track. I felt like it was going off track, which it can do sometimes, and then you steer it back through feedback. Okay, so I am happy with that. I'm just gonna let it know I'm happy with this version. So it registers that. Because right now we will go ahead and create our brand guide. I think it's pretty good. You can always iterate if you feel like something is missing. This is a great brief. Then we can upload back to ChatGPT. If you have any input, you could do it here. We just copy it and paste it here. And then we download it as PDF. We go back to our Brand Strategist project and we upload this file here. I should have renamed it. Let's try and test create a 30-day social media content calendar. Let's say for Instagram, reels and carousels. Let's see what happens if it has integrated our brand. That's pretty good. It definitely captured what we have. So now we're just testing that there's way better ways to do the content planning. You can ask it to include a hook, optimize for conversion. You can ask to enrich it with SEO. But for now, I think we're in pretty good shape. We have created our AI brand strategy. So from here, just feel free to upload more context, more document, refine the instructions as you go. You're learning along the way. Basically, now all your social media needs could be discussed within this project. So I hope you like this tutorial. I'm happy I recorded it again, even though my previous tutorial disappeared, because it was really interesting to see the similarities, the differences from ChatGPT and Claude. Just want to reiterate, for the actual content creation part, I will be using Claude because I do believe it's much better in my experience, but you can do incredible things in ChatGPT with your content as well. So good luck. Let me know what you thought about this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.